Hey, everybody. I'm going to give people a few minutes to come in. I decided to take a work break, but it's not technically a work break because I'm still working if I'm finna share some information. Let's see, I don't know if the lighting, I hate when the lighting is not good. I feel like I should be brighter than this. I'm not gonna slide this laptop over and I'll put this. Oh, I'm gonna go out. Finish. Oh no, I can cut it and change it. All right. So I am going to come on, and I know people a lot of times ask me, girl, why do you keep doing that? And sometimes people, look, I'm doing this because I like to share information. Somebody might listen, some people may not, but the goal is to put the information out there, maybe get up and see it come play. I know Facebook is horrible with the algorithms and how they're doing things, so a lot of times they don't even notify people that I'm actually doing a video, when I'm doing it, when I'm going live, and so because of that, stuff don't get seen till days after. And then people have questions or have stuff they want to say and they just weren't notified that I was even actually going live. But I am going to definitely, something was on my heart to do this. So I am going to go through the top 3 mistakes that people make when thinking about starting a business or actually starting a business. Now I'm going to say excuse these nails already because my appointment is not till tomorrow. I talk with my hands, so you may see my hands. So the first mistake that I'm going to say, let me see if there's a way for me to share. It's not. Let's see if it was a way for me to share. Nope, that's not it. Okay. So anyway, the top 3 mistakes. So the first thing I'm going to say is, first thing I'm going to address is, when I wrote these out, because usually y'all know I go off the cuff, but I didn't want to miss anything. So the first mistake is thinking that just because you have an idea or are good at something that you should start or make it your own business. Now, I know if you've heard me talk on other occasions, I say, hey, if you're passionate about it, if you love it, you can get other people to love it too. That is true. I tell people that, don't procrastinate. If it's something that you want to do, if it's a business that you want to start, don't procrastinate with it, right? And all of that is still true. But that is after you talk to someone or you actually determine whether or not you would be a good business person, right? So thinking or being good at something does not necessarily mean that you would be a good business person, right? So that's what I mean by that. You could be really, really good at, sewing clothes, right? And just because you're good at sewing clothes doesn't mean that you are going to be good at having a designer business, because there are some things that have to be done. It's not just about the craft. It's called business for a reason. The business part really has nothing to do with the craft, has nothing to do with the product. It has nothing to do with any of those things. You have to be good at business, which is in the background, right? That's going to be, first of all, being personable, not being afraid to present whatever that business is that you have out to the public, being able to speak about your business in a good way, so that you can share your business, so that you can market your business in public, right? That's important. If you're not good at that, now of course you could hire somebody to do that, but then there's money going out the door before you really made some money. Are you prepared to make the decisions that you need to make in order to ensure that the business is going to be successful? And we're going to go into the next to number 2, which is going to get with that. I call it this 1B, right? This is going to be not sitting down. So 1B, part of 1, is not sitting down with a coach, someone who has been in business for a long time and who is successful, not just someone who's been in business, but someone who is in business and who has been successful at maintaining their business for, I would say, really over 5 years. Because if you know anything about business, the first 5 years are the bumps and the bruises. And usually if a business is going to fail, that's generally when it fails, within the first 5 years. So I would speak to someone who has been in business for over 5 years if you don't get with a business coach. Generally, business coaches have been in business and they've been in business for more than 5 years. I know there is a popular thing now about all these people coming out saying, oh, I'm a business coach, and they can't even really show you a successful business that they have been running for no period of time. They're just coming out the woodwork saying that they're a business coach. I would definitely ask you or suggest that before you choose a business coach or someone to mentor you, you put those things in the forefront. Just because they look like they have things, material things and things like that, does not mean, first of all, that they can coach you in business well, or that they even know how to coach in business well. A lot of times people put the shiny things and the things in front of you as success, and you think that that means, oh, I got to pay them $3,500 for their workshop or their course or they this and that because they look successful. You start qualifying people before you pay them your money, me included. Talk to them. I ain't got no problem. When that's why I give a free consultation out the gate, because I already know when I talk to people, I know my experience, I know how long I've been doing this in different industries, so I don't have no problem with people qualifying me, right? But qualify them. And definitely before you take the next step, you should sit down with someone and talk to them about what it is you are planning to do, the business that you are looking to go in, because at that point, that's when you guys are going to do the important things, like do market research, see how businesses that are in that field that you're going in are doing. Are they on top, or are they in the middle, or are they on the bottom? See what's the need in your area. If you are going to be just say a brick and mortar or something like that, you need to know what's the need in your area. What is the cost of the rent? All these different things. Whether or not you should rent it all, or should you try to purchase your own location. There's a lot of stuff that that comes into play prior to you actually putting everything in writing, right? So that's 1B mistake. Then I'm going to go to the second mistake. Spending money, which I think is the first thing people do, spending money to register the business before writing a business plan, and then having it reviewed by their coach, by an accountant, and by an attorney. I don't know how many times I come across people who tell me, but I got my LLC already. I got my this and that. Because they get an idea, they get a name in their head, and they just automatically feel like, oh, I'm going to be an official business owner once I go and I register with the state. That is the biggest mistake you could ever make. If you haven't done the first 1 and 1B that I said, you should not be registering, period. And you shouldn't be registered until you have a business plan, an actual plan on how this business is going to scale, what the pricing of things are going to be, how much money you need for your staff, how much money you're going to need for your team that are mandatory prior to you actually starting the business, whether it's online business, whether it's a brick and mortar business. Any of those things, you should be sitting down, first of all, and writing a business plan, and your coach would help you do that. So you need one of those prior. And then you're going to need an attorney, just to kind of look over what the legality is behind, whether you should do it as an LLC, what is an actual LLC. Now, depending on who your coach is, they can give you those differences. Like I have, background in education, in accounting, and in legal with paralegal, so I can give the description as well as an explanation on the different entities and how they affect you legally and how they affect you financially in regards to taxes, right? So yeah, I could do that as a business coach. And then, hey, I got the accounting part. I'm just not an attorney. So For the attorney, that would be if you want to do, if you want to trademark your name. And then as a coach, I'm going to suggest out the gate to not even necessarily do that. You know how many times people change their name from the start of their business to when it actually scales and starts doing well? Because a lot of times we just think of stuff like Nene's Fresh Fried Fish, you know, because my name Nene and I'm selling fish. But we need to think. That's why you want to have a coach, because we need to think, how marketable is that name? How global is that name? Will that name be something that will be able to be appealing to all markets, right? That's important. So that's why I say the second mistake is registering, filing, spending your money doing all that prior to sitting down with a coach, an accountant, or an attorney. Because what happens, and I see it happen all the time, and I try to talk people out of it. They're like, well, no, okay, now I'm ready to do it. They file, they spend their money on filing, and now they just have a business that is filed, but it never happens. It's years before they actually even do anything with the business, right? But they're somewhere telling people, oh, I got my LLC, I got my this and that. But it's not about just having it registered. Not only that, if you're not doing anything with it, you don't even know that you're supposed to file a report every year, right? So you're not doing that because you really haven't thought about or haven't started the actual business, doing the actual business. So then what happens is the business goes inactive after 2 years or so because you haven't filed the annual report and you are not doing anything in the business to make you even remember to file the annual report. That's why you need a team. Because if you had a team, if you had the proper staff, if you had a manager, if you had an assistant, administrative assistant, somebody who is looking at all of the paperwork that's coming in the mail and telling you what needs to be done, all of these things, you wouldn't miss out on that stuff, right? But you don't have that because you went and filed and started the business prior to sitting down and making a plan and knowing exactly what running a business that is going to be successful takes. Okay. I actually was just watching a YouTube video of a guy. He did, he's my guy. Y'all hear me talking about him all the time. Pocket watching with JT. And he did his little thing where basically he was saying, oh, your small business is going to fail, and change his mind. And he was stating that, a higher percentage of small businesses that start fail more so than the ones that actually succeed. And a lot of that is because of these reasons that I am telling you, some of these reasons that I'm telling you. So that was number 2. And then number 3, I actually kind of touched on it. Number 3 is not having a team established prior to filing as well, registering with the state, which means, that's going to be management. That's going to be admin. Now, if you're going to be the management, that's fine. But then you need somebody to handle the admin. A lot of people try to do everything in their business when they get started. And if you cannot afford to have hire a team, that doesn't mean they have to work for you every day. But they need to be looking at your stuff, helping you at least monthly or quarterly. Definitely for bookkeeping and accounting, admin, I would say monthly. And then an attorney, I would say, just have them on call, right? For different things that you may need to do when you get to the point that you're going to want to trademark your business, right? Or something like that. Or you have an idea and you might want to patent it. So you want to have an attorney as a part of your team. Some of them you can go on retainer. Some of them you can just interview and say, okay, this is the one that I want to use when I need somebody. But that is definitely the third top mistake that people make when they think about starting a business or they're starting a business. So, of course, there's many, many more mistakes. But I wanted to touch on these top 3 because if you don't make these top 3 mistakes, then you can kind of be guaranteed, or in a sense assured that you're going to at least start out right? Of course, you're going to need to make sure that you are keeping up with everything, which means you are your bookkeeper or your accountant is going to tell you things that you have to follow through on. You have to, depending on your business entity type, you have to have people either as employees and or contractors. You have to understand what contractors are, right? You can't just say, well, I don't feel like taking out taxes, So the contractors, no. If you are requiring these people to be at a certain place at a certain time, wear certain, uniforms and different things like that, you're giving them a lot of requirements and rules in order to do the job that you're giving them, then they're not contractors. They're actually employees because they have responsibilities. So then that means that just because you don't feel like taking out taxes and doing all the other stuff, you can't just make them contractors. You just can't do that. That's why I said it's important to have a team. You need to have a person who is your bookkeeper. Your bookkeeper would be able to set up everything to do the payroll, right? If they're not, then you can get an accountant to do that, or you can get a payroll service. You can do, I don't do payroll anymore, but you can get with QuickBooks. I know they're pretty fair in their pricing. You can get what I think Square may do it. I really don't like them, but hey, somebody else handling it other than you, trying to keep up with that when that's not what you do, that's not what you're good at. You're good at whatever this business is that you're doing, and you're good at whatever this service is. So that's what you need to do. You need to allow the professionals and the people that do that other thing, you need to allow them to do that, okay? If you want to be successful, you don't know how many times look, JT was actually talking about this. It's like people come to us once they didn't listen to us, right? So we'll sit here, I'll do this video, right? And people will see it. And they'll hear me, and they'll be like, whatever, and they're going to go about doing what they want to do, right? And then when they start making money, and they're not doing anything, if they had a team, if they had an accountant, if they had a bookkeeper, if they had an attorney, they would make sure that they're doing things the way that they're supposed to be doing them. Then they wouldn't end up having this problem, but, they don't listen. So they end up going and they making this money and they just spending this money and they making this money and they spending their money, and they aren't putting up anything for taxes. They aren't paying their employees right. They're not doing any of that stuff, really, especially they're putting up for taxes, right? And they're thinking, oh, well, I'm making cash. This is now. Well, now, what did everybody find out? That a lot of these things that you use and call yourself making cash, Venmo, Cash App, who else uses these people? Zelle, what you got? Chime, you got all these other things. They found out that they're actually reporting the transactions. So now everybody's like, oh my God, scrounging and scraping, trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to do? Well, if you would have listened to the advice from the beginning, you would have had a bookkeeper, you would have had an accountant, and these things would be already together. But since you didn't, now those things are being reported. All of this money has been reported on your business, EIN, or even on your social security number. Then here you go. You get a letter from the IRS saying, we have gotten information that you have received income that you didn't report. So per our calculations, you owe us however many thousands of dollars based on the information that they receive. Had you been doing the things the way that you were supposed to do them, then they wouldn't have to prepare your taxes. Because guess what? They don't know your expenses. They don't know. All they're doing is going off of straight income. So now, then what you're doing, contacting your accountant, contacting your tax pro, and you are saying, oh, I need to get these taxes. They saying I owe this and that. Mind you, I'm sure all of us have said and are constantly beating this dead horse that before you start a business, get a bookkeeper, get an accountant, let them review, make sure that you're paying your quarterly deposits, you're paying your monthly deposits, make sure you're paying your people right, make sure you're not paying nobody under the table, make sure you don't let anybody convince you that you should be paying them in cash. Don't do that. None of that stuff. So if you see this video, no, don't do it. If you value your business, do not allow anyone to convince you to pay them in cash and you not report it. Because guess what happens? You pay taxes on the money that you paid them. Because if you don't have a way to legitimately show why you're writing that amount off, then guess what? It still stays in the business, and that means that it's going to be taxed. Nobody worth me paying taxes on money that I'm giving them. So if they cannot work legitimately, they don't need to work for you. I'm just saying, okay? Well, I'm going to stop because I just said the top 3 things. I put my link in there Definitely you can schedule a consultation. You can schedule a free 15. Understand, if you schedule a free 15, I'm not giving solutions in it. I'm going to just talk to you about what's going on. I'm going to let you know how I can help, and then we'll go from there. If you want solutions, if you want actual information, you need to do at least an hour consultation. And that's going to be dependent if you want to be coached, or if you want me to help you get your accounting and bookkeeping part of your business set up, and we can discuss whether or not I can work for you on a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, or anything like that. I'll be honest, I'm not at this point really taking any more monthly, quarterly business clients, just because of the direction that everything else I'm doing is going in. And if you know me, I like to give 100%. So I don't overwork myself or take on more than I can handle and give, professional, ethical, and knowledgeable service. But I definitely have people that I can recommend that I know handle business just as well as now. If I drop a business, then I'll have, some openings. But right now, as far as on a quarterly basis, I have openings. On a monthly basis, I don't, but we can discuss that. What else? So I think that's it. Hopefully the information I gave helped. I don't want to deter anybody from starting a business, because entrepreneurialism is definitely freedom, but everybody's not meant to be a business owner. If everybody's meant to be a business owner, we wouldn't have nobody working, right? No employees. So just because you're good at something, just because you have a good idea, does not mean that you necessarily have the skill set to start and run a successful business that you can scale into something that's going to be open, that's going to be profitable, and sustain you and your family for a lifetime, right? And you just have to be honest with ourselves on that. Now some things you can learn, and as long as you're willing to learn and apply, then you can be turned into a successful, business owner. But some people just aren't going to be that, just because you just don't have it. It just is what it is. It is what it is. I'm sorry. You don't have it. And if you end up hiring people to do all the things that you're not able to do, then you're probably not going to be making too much money. So, it's a double-edged sword. But if you want to save, if you want to avoid disappointment, I definitely say, what is that? 1B, step 1B, sit down and talk to a business coach or someone that can be considered a mentor who has been in business and who has maintained their business successfully for 5 years or more. And ask the people. Don't just go off the glitz and glitter that people show on social media, okay? I'm just telling you, half the stuff ain't real. I'm just telling you. All right? God bless y'all. Who am I? Monique JeCeo. My link is in the message. And I am a bunch of things. But as I'm speaking here, I am a certified business coach, as well as an entrepreneur for over 25 years. And, you're welcome. Hey, cuz. Entrepreneur for over 25 years. And I am a MSA, which means I have my master's degree in accounting, and I have my bachelor's degree in paralegal studies, and I hold a graduate certification in marketing. These are all things, and of course, I'm a philanthropist and I run a nonprofit as well. But these are all things that I am doing on a daily basis. I have ran and have had several businesses. Some I've closed, like a salon. I had a beauty salon since 2005, and then I decided to close in 2018. Moved from state to state, 2 different states, and still open my own salon. Closed it because I decided to stop doing, hair. But I don't have, if you know me, you know what I know. If I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know, and I'm going to refer out. I'm blessed to have an attorney who is a contract attorney that is Black woman, young, and more than willing to take anybody that I refer to help from the back end of those things where we need to have contracts. We don't need to just get in business with people. We don't need to just start stuff without understanding. So she will sit down and she can help you with that. That's Miss Amanda Moncada Perkins. So you can reach out to me about her. She works, she can work with people virtually. I'd highly recommend, her for that. I have other people, that I recommend if you're trying to start a nonprofit. I just got, I got a Rolodex of referrals because contrary to popular belief, I don't try to do everything. I just do what I know I'm good at, right? And I'm good at, God bless, grace to God. I'm good at several things, and those things I am willing to do. So God bless y'all. I hope this information helped. I don't want to deter anybody, but I do want to deter you if you ain't willing and ready to go in this the way that you need to go into it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. All right. God bless. Have a good day. Peace, peace, peace. Look, 2 nails.